all my years, I've never had a child cause me so much grief. Do you seriously not see what's at stake here? You've got a head on your shoulders, Auroron. Use it!
He is. And if you would just fuck off, the rest of us could understand what he's using it for. But instead, you have to be here. Stop scolding him and let's find out the truth.
Why did you help the captain? And I want the truth this time.
Maybe if you stopped scolding him, he would give it to you.
No answer? Think you're being smart? Then let me ask a different question. What does the captain want? What is his purpose in Natlan?
Again, I would have had the answers to the questions if you hadn't interrupted.
Really? You're just going to stonewall me?
I mean, honestly, if I were Rowan right now, I wouldn't be telling you shit either. Although he is getting quite annoying with his sound effects. Looks like Auroran has no intention of answering her. Yeah.
Just use your brain for
Which
a
means
second.
we're not going to find out.
What do you possibly stand to gain by helping the captain? Only endless trouble awaits you and everyone in the tribe.
Well, if the two of them are to be believed, the safety of everybody in Outland, which is pretty important if you ask me. Don't know what the plan is yet, but if that's what it leads to, that is something you can get behind and support.
You've always been a good kid. Why would you throw that all away now? If you're worried about something, just talk to me. Granny would much rather we had a conversation instead of constantly clashing like this.
You're the only one clashing.
Why is he staring at us all of a sudden?
Don't look at me.
I'm sorry that you have to hear all this.
It's fine. It's definitely a little awkward.
Indeed. It's like going to visit a friend at his house, only to suddenly hear your friend berating a naughty Saurian.
I would not equate it to that situation, but sure.
Well, that's an oddly specific analogy. Wait, did one of your friends really do that?
Does Auroran have friends?
Yes. And every time my friend scolded his Saurians, they would look at me the same way you're looking at me now. Helpless and embarrassed.
It's not quite the same thing, because in your analogy, we wouldn't be there to visit the friend, we would be there to visit the Saurian. Because you're the Saurian in this particular instance, and we came to visit you. So it doesn't, it's not a like for like at all.
Wait, but you're the one getting your head chewed off. Stop making this about us!
Indeed, you've got a point. Then please just hang in there for a little while longer. Granny should be done with her scolding session soon.
And then are you going to tell me what's happening?
Oh? You dare gossip between yourselves instead of listening to me? You...
I mean, you have no power over me. I mean, I don't answer to you. So yeah, I'll gossip amongst who I please instead of listening to you, thank you.
Sorry, Granny.
Sorry, Granny.
Is there a reason she sounds so
Granny.
unhinged?
You know what? Fine. I'm perfectly aware that everything I say goes in one ear and out the other. You're all grown up now, so why would you listen to an old hag like me?
She clearly has some baggage and some issues that she needs to deal with, because this is clearly not about Auroran or about the Traveler. It's about her. So Lali, sort your shit out, and then come back when you've sorted it out, please.
You say all the right things, but then you go and completely ignore me! Well, if that's how you're going to treat me, you can stop sending Aoife over to my place to deliver your stupid vegetables! I don't need anything from you!
Yeah, see, that seems like a massive overreaction. Very dramatic. And again, still very self-centered and self-serving. She's got issues.
Who's Aoife? A delivery person?
That's irrelevant. The point is, he hangs out with this kid, so he must be no good. You kids get to a certain age and suddenly act like you know it all. There's nothing I can say to get through to you.
Why do you think that your word is gospel? Why do you believe that everyone around you should do what you say? Who made you God? Auroran is a grown adult and he can take what you say under advisement, but he's still entitled to act according to his own wishes.
Auroran, if you're still thinking about that so-called duty, then please, just forget about it. The ley lines did not fall to this state because of you. And we've long closed the book on that incident.
Seems they've started talking about some kind of tribal history. I'm starting to get lost.
Once upon a time, I would have found that interesting information, but I'm still kind of pissed that we're not getting the full, plan or story about the captain and his plan and Mavuika's backup plan. I don't have it in me to care right now about character history.
That's not it, Granny.
Huh? There's something off about that voice.
I know you tend to get down on yourself when you're upset, but I can tell I really hurt you this time. All I can say is I'm sorry.
What do you mean? It sounds normal to me.
His voice. Auroron! Where have you gone?
Huh?
It sounds like he's somewhere super far away, but isn't he right here in front of us?
I'm really sorry. It's up to all of us to do everything we can to save Natlan. So I've got to go.
I don't understand. If you had the ability to make a copy of your body stand there while you disappeared, couldn't you have had the ability to make your voice come out of that body? Just a thought.
Get back here this instant! Auroron! What is this? Powder from plant spores? Is that the trick he used?
I don't really care. You've interrupted a very important conversation and you really don't seem to care, which is irritating me even further.
What just happened? How was he able to suddenly get so far away like that?
It's a trick of his. If you grind spores into a powder and spray it in the air, it can be manipulated to create an illusion. He pulled it off flawlessly. He must have put a lot of time into perfecting it. Don't tell me that's how he's been hunting in the fields these days. Couldn't he have picked up something more useful?
Can you focus at the matter at hand?
Little brat. That's it. The next time we meet, I'm definitely going to break his legs.
I'll break yours for wasting my time.
Whoa, that's a little extreme. But still, why does he feel like he needs to run from us? If his goal is also to protect Natlan, then can't we work together?
He still doesn't want to tell us anything about his goals. No, that's where you're wrong. He doesn't want to tell Sitlali because Sitlali will tell Mavuika. Obviously. He was more than happy to talk to us about it, although we didn't quite get to that point because, interruption. But he would have told us in lieu of the captain because he's disappeared. So don't lump me in with this woman here. He would have told us about his goals.
I'm sorry for interrupting your conversation with them earlier.
Are you, though? Are you?
But even if you'd been able to hear them out, there's no guarantee you would have gained anything substantial.
Excuse me? Bitch, please. We would have found out Mavuika's backup plan, which we didn't know she had, and we would have found out what the captain's plan is here for Natlan. I mean, I call that substantial. Am I crazy? I call those two very, very important pieces of information, Sitlali, almost, the most critical piece of information we've had in the country so far. But no, you was no guarantee you would have gained anything substantial. What would you know?
Auroron probably did everything he could to get away because he knew I'd get the truth out of him sooner or later. That brat. I swear.
Or he just didn't want to put up with your tantrum? I mean, I would have pieced out long ago as well. I wouldn't listen to that bullshit. The captain probably has some sort of substantial plan. Otherwise, Auroran would have no reason to keep following him. Correct, because he's doing it all voluntarily, remember? He is not under duress. Meeting again is out of the cards for now, fucking Sitlali. So it might be faster to just approach the Pirate Archon and confirm what the captain said. But that would then insinuate to her that the captain knows her plan. And that we're wavering to a degree. I can tell that Auroran's stubbornness has hurt Sitlali deeply. I need to find a way to comfort. Can we just know it? She's the one at fault here right now. Can we just get over to the Archon and sort this shit out? What was all that about Auroran's duty earlier? This game also has such a weird pacing problem. Like, do we care right now? Can we worry about that later? We have something far more important to talk about. Can we keep the tension high and get to that? Why do we have to stop the action in its tracks just to talk about backstory?
We've got quite a long walk back to the city. Let's take our time. It'll give me a moment to figure out how to explain all this.
What city are we walking back to? Question? Huh? Where are we going? I assumed we were going to the stadium to talk to Mavuika, and it's literally 2 minutes across the way. We're right next to it. Why is it going to take us a long walk to get back to the city? I'm still using quotation marks for city because they don't a city. Look, you can even see the right hand of the screen. You can literally see the edge of the stadium. It's just down the path. Return to the stadium. Still not a city. I'm going to fast travel because it's quicker. Still not a city.
Do you two have some time?
No, not for you.
Feeling hungry?
No,
How about we get something to eat?
no. Just ate. Let me go talk to Mavuika.
Oh, right. It's been a while since we last ate. Now that we can relax, Paimon just realized how hungry she is.
Now that we can relax. We just found important information out and that we need to find out more information. And instead of seeking said important information, you just shrug and go, gee, golly whiz, I'm hungry.
Then let's go. We can find somewhere to sit down and talk. Food and drinks are on me.
And I thought the whole point of her saying, it's a long walk back to the city, was her saying we were going to talk along the way. But we didn't talk along the way. We apparently walked in abject silence. And now we're going to sit down and have the conversation. I'm very confused about this order of operations. It's okay, we can cover our own bill. Paimon's got a secret food fund so she can do the honors. True.
How did this become Paimon's bill?
Well, so shit ain't gonna be mine.
Sweet Lolly looks quite down on herself.
Don't care.
All right. It's on Paimon this time. What's one meal to the best guide into that?
Again, you can't be a guide for a place you've never been to. It makes no sense.
So you can just sit back and enjoy, Sweet Lolly. Paimon will take care of it.
Said through gritted teeth.
Hey, come on now. You won't even let me take you out for some food and drinks?
Nope.
I just wanted to treat you to a meal.
I don't want it.
Are you sure? We can save you some Mora.
Mora is the least of my concerns. Besides, we're definitely due a meal after all the time we've spent together. Let me get this one. I might be an old hag, but I like to think I'm not completely useless.
Sure, that's fine with us. But Paimon doesn't want you to be sad, Sweet Lolly.
Don't worry. I'm sure a juicy grilled steak will work wonders.
Ugh. Sounds horrible, but hey, you're the one eating it, not me. The inn. There's a fast travel point by the inn, isn't there? I thought there was, but maybe there isn't. I cannot find it within me to have any interest in Sitlali now after she just screwed me over. What a dick move. The three of you walk into a tavern. What do you mean a tavern? There's only one here. And find a quiet spot to sit. You and Paimon order some food and fruit juice while Sitlali begins chugging down bottle after bottle of wine. Oh great, she's an alcoholic. Fantastic. That is a bucket, not a cup.
What are you looking at?
Do you see two people standing by the door? They look like spitting images of each other. Are they twins?
Okay, so she's a dumb drunk. Great, even better.
But Paimon only sees one person there.
Huh? How could that be? I guess my mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. Give me another bottle, boss!
Please tell me she passes out soon. There's nothing I can't stand more than being around people who are drinking. It's just so infuriating. It's irritating.
Do you think she's drunk?
I'd be surprised if she wasn't. After the alcohol she could just consume.
There you go, miss. Oh my, it's not every day you get to see Granny Itzley here with some friends. Not to mention ones who've made a huge name for themselves recently.
This is the lady that has a conversation that mentions how old Sitlali is. So that's good.
Oh, so you've heard of
We
us?
finally had that conversation.
Oh, Of course I have. Aren't you the ones who saved Kachina and brought her back? No wonder you hit it off with Granny Sitlali.
I know she's in my shit
She
list at the
wouldn't spend
moment.
time with just anybody, you know. I don't even remember the last time I saw her with a new friend.
Oh, trust me, right now, friendly is the last thing I feel towards her.
Wait, so you call her Granny too?
Here it will be.
Well,
Yeah.
given our ages, it'd probably be more accurate for me to call her my great-great-granny. She's one of the most famous people at the Masters of the Night Wind. Most days, hardly anyone even dares talk to her.
Huh? Gossiping about me right in front of my face now, are you, Chonka?
Oh, please, Granny, I wouldn't dare. I'm just beyond happy to see you bring over some new friends. After all, any friends of our regulars are sure to be great customers too.
Fair logic.
All right, that's enough. Go on now. I'm sure the other customers would like to talk to you as well. There's no need to keep staring at me. I promise I'll keep my alcohol down until I leave.
Oh, lovely. So you'll go throw up on her flower bed outside. I know she doesn't have one, but still.
Well then, you have my thanks.
After Changa leaves, Lally downs a few more glasses. Again, that is not a glass. Especially given if we ignore the size issue, still not a glass. Glass is made out of glass, funnily enough. And begins to stare blankly into space from her chair. You start wondering whether she's actually drunk or working through some complex problem in her head. It's probably something very simple. Yep.
Seat Lally? Seat Lally?
Who's that? You got some gall calling me by my first name.
Are you still with us, Seat Lally? You're kinda talking to no one.
You chumps come around here, picking fights with me? Well, I mean, come on. Monster?
Granny Seat Lally, you're not a monster at
I'm
all.
not dealing with this. I can't stand drunk people.
Exactly. And while we're at
Right,
it,
let me fast
I'm
forward.
not some lazy slacker either. Oh yeah. And I have to mentor all the new kids. Hey, new kid. Yeah, you. Don't play dumb. Didn't I teach you how to find flow? That's more like it. About dang time someone showed me a little respect. Yeah, Granny's a...
Did she just fall asleep with her eyes open?
Behind this pitch black curtain, a chapter of hatred reveals itself. Behind the smoke, the lingering smoke.
Ah, she's meditating again. She does this whenever she's had a few too many drinks.
Lovely.
Her mind's actually racing at this point. It's quite the opposite of sleep.
Is this another specialty of the Masters of the Night Wind?
No, I'd say it's an ability that's unique to Sitlali herself. While she can easily pick up everyone else's skills and tricks, few have been able to master hers.
Warning, warning. Red, the color of danger, has now arisen within that pair of eyes.
Would you care to be more specific?
Huh?
Are you awake?
Traveler? Paimon?
What's wrong?
I'm gonna hurl.
You promised Chunky you wouldn't do it inside her establishment.
Hang on, just keep it in.
You had Paimon worried. Paimon...
How embarrassing. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. That's never happened.
Me too.
Are you feeling okay? Wanna take a quick walk and get some fresh air?
There's so much that I want to say, but I can't.
Why not? Of course you can. Just say whatever's on your mind.
Please, Paimon, it's not as simple as you think. We've only known each other for a few days, right? What would you think of me if I were to start dumping all of my complaints on you after we've only just met?
Oh, Paimon gets it. You're hoping that we wouldn't think less of you no matter what you're about to say.
No, that wasn't my point at all. Seriously, don't you youngsters know anything about shame? I'm talking about shame. I've lived all these years and still can't get rid of it. Surely you know the feeling too?
Did you do years ago that garnered such shame on your behalf?
Actually, about that.
Should we just tell her? What? Tell her what? We've done nothing to be ashamed about.
Huh? Tell me what?
I don't know, man. I'm as bemused as you are.
Yeah, this is as good a time as any.
Oh! Does she not yet know about the device that Chaska broke? Great. Which, again, for the record, not my fault. Alright, Zitlali. Listen carefully and try not to get too upset. You describe the events that took place during Auroran's rescue as objectively, fairly, and impartially as possible. Oh. That's not even remotely relevant. Okay. Zitlali shared some of her senses with you during... Oh! You're talking about hearing her memories. God, we were so vague. Yes, you two should be ashamed for that and not telling her that. You feel shame. Allowing you to temporarily hear her thoughts. You guys deserve to feel that.
So, you heard... You heard my...
It's okay, Zitlali. You had every right to complain about those things.
I can't take it anymore! Why do these things happen to me?
Because you mustn't be very good at what you do, despite the fact that you make really cool devices that do really cool things. If you keep having side effects, there's obviously something wrong, dear.
Hearing me mumble under my breath is one thing, but hearing what I mumble in my own head? That's too much.
I do agree, and I still 100% put the blame at the Traveler and Paimon's door, because they absolutely should have spoken up about it.
It's just like when you're rolling on the floor in your pajamas, but you forget to lock the door, and someone bursts in to deliver cabbages and sees the whole thing.
Obviously speaking from experience, but why would you forget to lock the door first and foremost, because that's weird. But how could someone also burst into your home for a delivery? Why is someone coming into your home, period? That's not normal.
So that, happens to you a lot.
It happens to people in general, okay?
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't matter if you're 200 years old or 1,000 years old. Everyone rolls around in their pajamas sometimes. I was just picking something generic.
I can't say I've rolled around in my pajamas. Sorry, Zitlali. I don't recall that being a thing I've ever done. But you do you? Are you okay? You look dejected.
Take a walk with me. I have things to share with you.
I want nothing to do with the drunkard.
Looks like she's completely given up. Like those criminals who just confess everything and accept their fate.
We should follow her, just to make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. Honey, it is not our obligation to keep her from doing stupid things while drunk. That's her problem. I have no moral obligation to take care of her. How are we getting up there? Oh, here. I was looking for an external, like a staircase along this back wall. Forgot about this one. I still really hate that some doors open towards you. It happens in Cimmeria City with the Treasure Street. The doors in this game should always open away from you. Whether that's realistically, practical given the buildings or whether that would make sense, I don't care. It's just inconvenient when they come at you and you may not be on the right angle and then you just get stuck behind a door. The door should always go away from you, just for convenience.
Well, great view, right? I love coming here by myself.
Well, we're here, so you're not exactly by yourself. Does that mean you don't love the current situation?
Wow, it's beautiful.
I guess thank you for bringing us here. Why are her feet longer than ours? Her character model's the same one as ours, isn't it? The generic smaller female?
You're making me want to cry.
Why? I don't think I said anything remotely sentimental.
Oh no, what do we do? Please don't cry.
I was an expression, okay? A figure of speech. I'm just... embarrassed. Here you are thanking me. Even after you helped me all this time. Let's just have a casual conversation. It's easiest that way.
Really? You don't seem like the kind of person who keeps things casual.
Well, I guess I used to be more of a stickler for the rules. And you're right. I don't usually open up to the people of my tribe like this.
I still just can't find it in me to care. We have far bigger problems than her backstory right now and how she feels in her emotional state. We have to get to Mavuika and find out the bigger plan at stake here. This is not the time to be dropping backstory at all.
I'm just an eccentric old hag to them. That story's been passed down so long. It might as well be true.
But you're just a regular person.
Is she though?
The kids of my tribe would have a heart attack if they heard you say that. Granny Eatsley is a powerful figure. Be careful around her. That's what they'd say.
Well, you are powerful. Are they afraid of you?
Some are. Others are mad I always come out on top. A few decades like that, and people stop knowing how to deal with you. What about you? Are you scared of me?
Not the word I'd be using right now.
We don't find you scary at all.
Paimon's right.
That's because you're not from my tribe. You don't know how many delusions of grandeur I've destroyed just by existing.
What if you get rid of yours as well?
I make people realize that no matter how hard they work, they'll never become a living legend like me.
Well, you have a longer lifespan than everybody else. Unless you're deliberately prolonging your life, I'm not quite sure how they could hold you accountable for that.
Oh, not to brag or anything. Maybe it's hard to believe. Just pretend I never said anything.
Because if you have a longer lifespan, you have more time to perfect your craft and be good and achieve, brilliant things than the average person does with their shorter lifespan.
We believe you. Shilonen has full faith in your abilities, and Auroran didn't seem scared of you. He thinks of you as his granny, right?
Yes, but Auroran's a special case.
That's actually a good reminder of what we're even doing all this for. What happened to the old ancient name thing? We've held our part of the bargain, have we not? Can we get to the ancient name part as well?
Mavuika already told you about her plan. And you've given so much help to Auroran and me. You deserve to learn the full truth. Auroran's not like other people. As I mentioned, he was abandoned as a child.
And?
The reason being, his soul is incomplete. The Masters of the Nightwind view this as a bad omen, capable of bringing about illness and misfortune.
Okay, before I can care about this, can you tell me what that actually means? How is someone born with their soul incomplete? How do you not have a full soul? How is that even possible? And what kind of ramifications are there physically? Not this, oh, it's a bad omen, brings illness and misfortune. Can you just tell me what it actually tangibly means?
No one knows who his parents were. He was just left on a rock in the wilderness. It's a miracle he wasn't devoured by some wild beast.
Is he a child of the Wyob, perchance?
The Masters of the Nightwind believe they can see human souls. And in Auroran's incomplete soul, they saw a possibility for Natlan.
It says fragmented, but whatever. I've kind of given up on the dialogue in this particular quest.
A possibility to turn Auroran into a vessel for lost souls.
See, again, can you elaborate on that? I don't know what you mean.
The ceremony would allow lost souls to gather within him. Auroran would then be sent to the Night Kingdom to return the souls to their rightful place, strengthening the ley lines and completing the ceremony.
Okay.
Wait, that doesn't sound right.
I mean, it kind of sounds fine. I would just more inquire what it feels like to have someone else's soul inside your fragmented soul, because I don't know that that would be a pleasant experience. And they want him to do that again and again and again and again. That can't be comfortable. Sending a living person to the Night Kingdom, wouldn't that just kill him? It's not like he's staying there forever. I mean, hell, we've been there and we were alive, weren't we? I imagine it would just be the same.
Now you see the problem. When damage occurs to the Night Kingdom, the souls held within disperse and remain adrift, unable to find a way back to the ley lines. This loss of souls damages the Night Kingdom even further. The ceremony can send back countless souls at once, which would benefit the Night Kingdom and the souls themselves. Of course, the vessel, Auroron, would be sacrificed in the process.
Okay.
I wasn't surprised the chief at the time came up with the plan. The ley lines were already in a terrible state. A suitable candidate for the ceremony appears, and now you have the chance to make things better. Of course you're going to take it.
Right. So you weren't talking about like a for the rest of his life kind of thing, like a profession. Like that's just what he does with his life. You meant a one-time occurrence that would kill him. Couldn't you have prefaced the conversation with that? You had me thinking you meant like this was his way to contribute to the tribes. You literally just meant it was going to kill him. Could we just have led with that?
When the chief asked for my opinion, I didn't give my approval, but I didn't object either. So they went ahead with the ceremony. It failed, and Auroron escaped with his life.
Okay, I have more problems. First and foremost, you still haven't actually elaborated what the fuck a fragmented soul is. What do you mean? How does it happen? What are the repercussions? Can we just what's the word I'm looking for? Don't know. Can we just get that sorted before we move on to this other superficial stuff? Okay, second of all, why did you not object? Did this happen when he was still a child? When he first was discovered and then brought into the tribe, and then they were like, oh, hey, he's got a partial soul. Great, let's use him and kill him. Because wouldn't you then be more protective over a child? I mean, to be fair, you hadn't bonded with it at that point in time. But wouldn't you still feel empathy towards a child? I mean, I wouldn't, but I'm not normal. I would think that Lali would. But also, even if you don't feel affection for the child, you cared more about the state of the Night Kingdom than you did about the child, that you didn't mind if they took his life? I just don't get why you didn't object.
Pathetic, isn't it? By not objecting, I basically gave them the go-ahead.
No, but yes.
Maybe they didn't have my explicit approval, but it's not like I did the right thing.
Agreed.
If the ceremony was successful, Auroron would probably be dead.
What do you mean probably? You literally just said doing so would sacrifice his life, but now you're saying, oh, maybe just a 50-50 chance. You know, nothing set in stone.
Of course, in my tribe, death is rarely something to fear.
Well, it is if you're not in battle.
What kind of message would we be sending by sentencing a newborn to death? By using a human life as a tool?
So you object now, but you didn't at the time? Okay.
It's not right. So, when I learned the ceremony had failed, I was ashamed by my inaction.
As you should
and
be.
absolutely relieved by the result. The plan was never a secret. Or, I guess I should say, there was no point to keeping it a secret. A simple investigation from Auroron would reveal everything.
How? So much time would have passed before he was of an age to investigate anything that people would have forgotten, willfully forgotten, or just, you know, would never speak of it, because who would speak of that to the person that they tried to kill?
Everyone thought he would be happy he survived. And he never really said anything to the contrary.
Why would he?
But just as I was about to put all of it behind me,
But it also happened, as you said, when he was a newborn, so it's not like he has any memory of the event.
he asks this question. Would Natlan have been saved if the ceremony succeeded?
I mean, it's a pretty big burden for y'all to put on a child. Oh, you know, you could have saved Natlan most likely when you were a baby, but it didn't work, Soz. Oh yeah, I could have killed you at the same time. You cool with that? Great. No. He should never have found out what happened.
Wait, but it's not his fault.
It's not the way he's going to see it, per se. If he feels like he could have made a difference, maybe that's the life he would have preferred.
He knows that, but he still feels guilty. Auroron has a strong ability to perceive souls, more than any of us. He understands just how dire the situation with ley lines has become. Maybe he chose to work with the Fatui because he still thinks he owes a debt to Natlan. I can only imagine what they told him.
I'm still not quite sure what she's wanting out of this conversation. Because nothing you've said changes my thought or opinions of Auroron in any way, shape, or form. Of course he's doing what he thinks will save Natlan. The reason behind why he's doing it is irrelevant. He could just want to save humanity, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't really need a driving force for him to have made this decision to help the captain in his plan. I genuinely don't. Like, if you get told there's a way to save Natlan that's going to work better than someone else's plan, who wouldn't get behind it?
Traveler, didn't the captain say he found a way to solve the crisis? Maybe that's what brought Auroron into this.
Obviously.
Anyway, we can't just let things go on like this. We have to convince him to come back.
Come back to where? And do what? What? Why? I don't understand. Yeah, that should be our next step. Huh? Could we not just go to where he is and find out what the plan is? Why do we have to bring him anywhere? Knowledge is what we need at this point.
You don't look so good, Sweet Lolly. Maybe you should head back and get some sleep.
And can we please go see the Archon already?
Probably drank too much.
No shit.
It's okay. The fresh air is doing me good.
That's not how alcohol works, but you do.
Okay.
I don't want to listen to it.
You've helped me so much already. How do I even begin to thank you?
By taking your drunken self elsewhere.
Hey, we're friends, aren't we?
No.
Besides, you already said you owe us a favor, so you don't need to worry about us.
Good point. Well, I'll go home and get some sleep. We can figure out our next move in the morning. Friends. I like the sound of that.
Again, I just met you. It seems a bit soon for a label to be put on it.
Back with the captain, don't you think?
Yes, can we please go and speak to them? Yeah, we should tell the Pirate Archon what we learned. I mean, finally.
You mean about the
Half an hour later.
Do you really believe what the captain told us?
We should just be upfront with her.
Yeah, you're right. We should just go to her directly. But she's probably asleep.
Who cares?
We can find her first thing in the morning. For now, let's... go to bed.
Ugh. I'd rather just wake her up. It seems a little more important than that.